Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and today I've got a follow-up to the unboxing I did a long time ago with where this Blue Point razor scraper showed up. I had ordered this and kind of wondered, is it really that much better, say, than this little Titan that I have? This thing sold for around 16 bucks. This turns out to be aluminum. I wasn't sure at the first. Thought it might be a heavy nylon or something. It weighs more than twice what this guy does. Pop the cap, and that's including the cap, which in the Titan's case slides back and is seated there. Both of these are designed as replaceable razor blade hand scrapers. They both have a way to quickly replace and reverse the blade if you want. You don't have to do it as much with the Titan, but what this is designed for here is to quickly just reverse it for storage, since it doesn't have a cap. It's kind of a pain. I'm used to it here on this Titan, and Titan, by the way, is not a very expensive one. I checked on Amazon. You can buy this for about $7.50, you can buy this for about $8.50, or you can buy both of them for about 10 bucks. This one uses a screw and you can reverse the blade. This comes in really handy, so I wish Blue Point made one of those. I'd be happy to try it. But what I'm going to do is compare these two to see. There's a couple of issues with the Blue Point. It's very heavy, it's slippery, it's smaller, and it has a different, what I'm going to call an approach angle. Kind of stealing a term from off-roading. Approach angle has to do with the angle at which your vehicle can approach an obstacle, or the angle of the obstacle that you can still drive up. So, if the wheels are actually in front of your vehicle, they stick out in front of the bumper, you could literally go up to something and your wheels could go straight up. But if they're set back like on a minivan or something, then you're going to encounter the bumper or the bottom of the car too soon. You can't really go over much of an obstacle. And then the approach angle is going to be the angle at which you can begin using this. Obviously you can go as steep as you want, but it is going to have a limit. So I'm going to check that. I thought this form factor was kind of cool. This is a Microsoft Surface mouse, and it just reminded me of about the same thing as a computer mouse. And I'm going to also point out that you can sharpen or at least hone back up razor blades using a stone, if you're very careful. Sometimes you have to go to the edge, depends on, again, on that approach angle, just to try to bring them back. You can use ceramic too. It isn't really a knife blade, but you can get some more life out of a razor blade. Of course, you can buy them pretty cheap. In fact, I noticed also that Titan sells razor blades on Amazon, and you can buy 100 of them for like $7 or something like that. They are sacrificial. So the question is this very good? Well, in the quiver of scrapers you should have, I really think these Snap-on striking scrapers are fabulous. I've done a review on those. Standard kind of paint scrapers, quite handy. Carbon scrapers, it's like Snap-on. Playing around with some of these Blue Point knives. Hopefully I'll have another, the one I actually ordered. But I've used this after I sharpened it up, and I've used that for some scraping, and it works well. The larger, longer one, and now these two. So the first thing I mentioned was the weight. It's not really important because they're both light. This one was 94 grams, this was about 40 grams. So 94 is, it's not a quarter pound, but you can see it from there. So it is definitely a lot. With the smaller one, it's really nice to be able to just have a cap that you can flip around and cover it, so you don't have to play the game here of spinning this thing around. It seems like for the price they should be able to engineer a cap for this. It's a piece of art is what's going on here. Let's take a look at those approach angles, and then we'll actually do some testing. So here is the angle. A little hard to see, but the angles the minimum angles. So you can see the blue point actually is a little bit steeper. Now this difference here is not huge, but it is sometimes needed depending on what you're trying to scrape. So let's do a little bit of scraping and see what happens. By the way, I would avoid using diamonds with the razor blades. They are very hard. You can try it if you have a fine diamond, but oftentimes they just are so abrasive because you're working, you know, with a razor blade basically. So let's clear out some of this stuff and play. So what I've got a little work surface here and a piece of plastic, and what I've got to start out is I just put a piece of Scotch tape on the plastic here, and I was just curious, you know, how easy I could, you know, move this around and grab all of that. Obviously the quality of the razor blade makes a difference. Try this one. This definitely is steeper, but I'm able to do it fairly smoothly here. Let's try one of the kind of an uneven surface here with a factory sticker on it. So let's see what happens here on this corner. I'm able to work that up pretty well. Let's try this guy. This was a top of a pizza here. Whoa. The blue point might have a little better razor blade. This one does allow you to hold it in a few more different angles, which is kind of nice, just because of the rubberized coating. End up cutting my finger off. So the blue point's actually cutting, they're working a little bit better here, I think. Maybe. Yeah, maybe they're the same. This is just a little harder to work with. Let's try another tape on this side. I'm going to get some fresh Scotch tape here. Get two pieces. Put one there and one there. Let's try the Titan over here. Make sure it's pressed down. Yeah, I can slide that one over nicely. Let's try the blue point. Blue point's hanging up right there a little. Not bad. They both seem to work well for that. What if it's an uneven surface, or like this piece of wood here? Let's try that. So here's two pieces of Scotch tape on the wood. Start with the Titan again. Not bad. Blue point. Now this one caught right away right there. I guess that's the fresher blade. Not bad. Kind of playing around a little. Having a little trouble right there. Let's try it over here. No, that worked fine. So the angle's not too big a deal. The weight of it, one of the concerns I have is if I drop them, this probably has plenty of weight to break the razor blade, to shatter it. Razor blades can snap quite easily, whereas this one, there's not a lot of mass there to build up the forces necessary to or possible to bust the blade. But the blue point definitely has got a bite to it. Drops it into the wood there. You can see that. So that's one of the issues. As far as longevity, I have had this thing for, I don't know, I'm going on probably at least the second decade with this thing. Fairly inexpensive. And because the business end is sacrificial and replaceable, so I could buy Snap-on razor blades if they made them and I could get them. But as far as the machining and everything else, to me this is more of a piece of art. If I had to throw one in a tool bag, I'd probably grab my Titan. If I had to use it all day long, you know, probably still my Titan. This Blue Point, it's heavy, it's thick, it's super slippery, costs a little bit more. I don't have a cap for it. Its angle starts out a little bit steeper. It does keep, notice both these do keep the razor blade. If you look at that, you can see the razor blade is off the ground here. Obviously, pop that off. Even though I'm pulling away, it always makes me nervous, and that one's way off. You can see there when it's just setting down. You know, so super high quality in a tool that doesn't necessarily need it. So, just thought I'd bring that to your attention. I do find the comments about your experiences with different tools really helpful. So let me know your thoughts if you've got some on things like that. And with that, Doc out.